guys? Today we are starting a new podcast. I'm your host, Nan, and I have my family here as co host. And the name of our podcast is You Can't Make This Stuff Up. And trust me, when you listen to us, you'll understand you can't make this stuff up. So we're going to move and let everybody introduce themselves. And we're going to start with my husband.
Going up. Hi, how you doing? I'm James. Nice to meet you.
Hello, my name is Macias. I'm 18. I'm a high school graduate. And off to Simone.
Hi, I'm Simone. I'm 28 and I do makeup.
You look, you weren't sure about her age.
Oh my God.
Hi, my name is Shalisha. I'm 21. I'm a college junior. And I like to do artistic things. Who's not depressed?
No, he said that. So
I look
don't
right
come
at
for
you.
me.
You said it.
Okay, guys, we're going to, talk about several different subjects today, but we're going to first start off with the drama that's going on with the James Charles and the Tati situation. So we're going to let Macias start that off because he has the details, and we're going to jump right in and tell you what we think about it.
Alrighty, so James Charles and Tati, as most of you know, over the past month or so, when James Charles went to Coachella, he had signed a deal with Tati, one of Tati's rivals, Sugar Bear. And right after he had signed the contract, he had posted this big advertisement on his channel, on his Instagram, promoting their line. And then he told Tati right after he did the big endorsement, and she wasn't too happy with him because he quote unquote never endorsed her product on his channel. So then, it's kind of set Tati over the edge, and then she made this whole video talking about that topic, and then along with other topics about what's wrong with James, him seducing straight men to be gay for him, and that's up and all that. Just all in all the bad stuff that she thinks he's done without any facts or receipts.
All right, so the first question I have about this is who really cares? It's their life. I mean, at the end of the day, it is what it is. If he, I get that she's upset that he and her are supposed to be like these great friends, and she was supposedly a mentor to him, and I 100% get that if she has asked him to help her and he's not done that, then I would be upset too. But putting his business out there about the personal things that he does, that's his business, and I would only, address with him the stuff that he did to me personally. I think going, public with everything is really petty. And I look at the fact too. Now I understand Tati's stance, but Tati is in her late 30s, and James is still a teenager. I'm thinking. So whenever you're a child, you act like a child. You do stupid things. I think addressing it with him and cutting the relationship off, if that is what's warranted, if that's what she feels, she should have done that. But putting it out into the public is just petty, beyond measure.
One thing that I really, with this whole situation, if they're such good friends, she wouldn't have done this. If they were such good friends, she would have talked to him personally. And like you said, she's a grown woman. She's like in her 30s, and he's 19. And according to James Charles, I watched all the videos. I've seen Tati's first one. I've seen the second one. I've seen James' videos, and for some reason, Jeffree Star is a part of it. Nobody really knows why he's a part of it, but it's fine. So for some reason, Jeffree Star is a part of it. Nobody really knows why. Even he didn't know why he was a part of it. And sometimes you get mixed up in drama. You're like, wait, why am I even here? It's fine though. But I watched all the videos, and what it seems like is a big miscommunication, and two, a bunch of pettiness. You can't, if you're gonna call somebody your friend, if you consider somebody your friend, it doesn't matter what they do, especially something as petty as that. Oh, well, you promoted this other brand, but you didn't promote my brand, even though he did promote her brand. Because if you see on his channel, and most other times, he's been seen promoting her stuff. But because he, for one time, did that for her, did Sugar Bear, she's upset.
I mean, I think it's specifically because she specifically asked him to promote her brand, and he said no, that he didn't do that. It's one thing to do it without asking, but if you specifically ask, like I say, Shalisha, will you promote my podcast, so to speak, and you say no, but I have someone that is got a similar podcast as me doing the same thing, and because you want something, you go to them
No,
and solicit them to promote their stuff so you can get something that you need out of it. And we're supposed to be real good friends. We're supposed to be, I mean, I'm helping you through everything, and I ask you, will you help me promote my podcast? And you tell me no, that's against your regulations. And then you go to my competitor and solicit them to promote their stuff. I'm going to be upset about that.
from my understanding, James Charles doesn't actually do promotion on his channel. She wanted him to promote on his channel, like do a whole video, and he doesn't do that. From my understanding, watching videos, from my understanding, and be subscribed. That's not something he really does. But the whole Sugar Bear thing came about when he was at Coachella. He had the normal VIP passes, and he was being mobbed. He's famous, so because he's famous, you can't see the air quotes, I'm doing air quotes. Because he's famous, people were mobbing him. People wanted his attention. So his friend was promoting Sugar Bear, so they had the artist pass, which means they got security, and he wanted that so he could actually enjoy his time. This is all alleged based off of his video
And it shows the age.
screenshots and everything. And yeah, like I don't want to make excuses for anything he did, because I feel like communication is very important. But I feel like that goes with everybody involved in the situation. You also remember he's 19 years old. That's like trusting Machias with something, talking to Machias about anything. You're not putting a lot of stock into him because he's still basically just a kid. I'm still basically just a kid. I'm 21. I mean,
I can't put that on there either, because there are some things that I do trust that I have raised y'all to the point in which that y'all wouldn't do some silliness with certain things.
people make mistakes. Sometimes miscommunications happen, even if you don't mean.
I mean,
for
I
them
don't
to.
really think it's a miscommunication. I think it's just something that he did that was dirty. He realized that it was dirty. He apologized for it, but then he got so much backlash for all the foolishness and pettiness that she put out there that he had to step up and say, okay, let's set it straight, which I think that's his personal business. Whether he came on to a straight guy, a gay guy, whatever,
Also,
it is
all
what
that
it is.
was all miscommunication too. Like all of that was lies and.
Right,
Everything.
I don't
Even
really
the
think
people
it
who
was
came out and
pertinent
talked
to
about
the
it.
situation.
It had nothing to do
It
with
should have
anything.
never, ever even came out. That's his personal life. That's his
And
personal
she was just
business.
upset.
That was very vindictive. Like, you don't do what I want, so I hack you down. Makes no sense.
I mean, well, going back to the topic about what James Charles did was wrong. I mean, she said that he's never promoted any of her stuff, and and this is going off of this video that he made. He has promoted her product several times within several of his videos over the years. I mean, he goes to on his Snapchat stories, his Instagram stories, like, oh, I just bought the Halo Beauty.
Oh, that's what it's called. I forgot.
Yeah, I bought this. Don't tell her that I paid for it, because if I would have told her, she wouldn't let me pay for it. But that's how much I support her. He's gone on several all of his platforms promoting her product. He just hasn't done a whole video on it, like his makeup videos that he does with Jeffrey Charles or a few other beauty people. He's actually put in her beauty, like, oh, I'm using even with videos he's made with her, he's like, oh, I'm using Halo Beauty today because I think it does this, that, and the fourth. So it's not like he's not promoting her product. He just didn't promote it in the way she wanted him to promote it.
Well, I think that's not the issue. I think the problem was that he's never done that for her. Is that she specifically, like Shalisha said, he's done these promotions here and there for her, not even with her asking. But I think it's when she specifically asked him, please promote this for me, and he specifically said to her, no, I'm not, or I don't. Then he goes behind that and promotes her competitor. I get being upset.
See, no, at the same time, I still don't, because it seems like she wanted a video promotion. He didn't even make a YouTube video promotion for Sugar Bear. It was a Snapchat promotion for Sugar Bear.
Who is Sugar Bear?
It's
It's
hair
a
growth
vitamin
It was
company.
It was
That doesn't
Instagram.
work.
He had posted something on Instagram about Sugar Bear.
Not
Yeah.
black.
He had posted something on Instagram
Seems like it.
about Sugar Bear, and he did this whole long paragraph about it. Oh, do Sugar Bear it's a great product. This, that, and the fourth.
It was a
thing.
video, I thought.
No, it was a It might have been like a little video.
I need y'all to
Either
have
way.
y'all specs together.
Okay, well, the reason why Jeffree Star got put into it was because somebody went back and pulled up some of his old tweets. And he said, what was it, '08? When he was like, yeah, he loved to turn straight men out. Does anybody know any straight men he could turn out? So somebody went back and pulled up all of those receipts from that. So that's how he got dragged into it. 'Cause
Oh,
he was
then
telling
again,
them,
yeah.
how can you say that what, what's the word?
James Charles.
Yeah, what James Charles did, you got an attitude and you give your opinion about him, but you just did the same thing a couple years ago.
Yeah, that was the thing. That was
That's how he got. But yeah, are we gonna take turns? Everybody
So
else trying to
part-
talk over it.
Okay, well now that you're done, I agree with her.
So
I
now
agree
that
with
you're
her
done.
because in his video he went on to say how it was an ongoing joke, like, oh yeah, I love straight men. I was, I'm very attracted to this straight man. I mean, it was a joke between them two and between everybody else. So then Jeffree had gotten he didn't get pulled into it necessarily.
He kind of put himself into it.
He put himself in a place where he wasn't supposed to be.
Well, who was that one that co-signed on the back of it? Was it Jeffree Star that co-signed on the back of it and said, "Yeah, Tati's right." James
Oh
Charles
yeah,
is,
he's like he's a
he's
menace to
dangerous.
society. He's
Yeah.
dangerous.
Was
blah,
that
blah,
Should be
blah.
Jeffree?
put in jail.
That was definitely him, and it's interesting because he did go from 0 to 100 out of nowhere. And even when you read over it, it's like if you call yourself a friend, even if you're not close to a person, if you call yourself a friend, you hear something bad about this person, instead of talking to them, you decide to attack them, or you attack them in private and in public. Because there are screenshots of both. So it's like, again, I don't, age is whatever, but you are 30 years old. You're in your 30s. This is a 19-year-old. This is a child to you. What are you doing?
But you gotta keep in mind, there's something hot right now for him to make money off of.
It is. Maybe.
So
It
he
could,
gonna capitalize off of it.
I mean, I'm not, well, okay,
That was
I can't say
like-
I'm not mad at him for
That
capitalizing.
was like the R. Kelly thing. Remember I was telling you we should have went and said something like that and you didn't want to do it?
It's not about this right now.
No, it's not. We talking about James
We
Charles.
are talking about
Get-
James
stay
Charles.
on topic, Shalisha.
Oh my God, Simone.
Alright.
All right,
But,
so we're gonna
um,
wrap that up. I mean,
But I'm gonna say, I also want to say, she was like, when she purposely said, Tati purposely said and did things and twisted her words to make James Charles look bad. Like things like, oh, he said, oh, I'm famous, and according to James Charles, that's an ongoing joke between him and a bunch of friends, including Tati. But oh, girl, you so famous. Oh, I'm so famous. This, that, another. I'm famous because I'm famous. Oh, you got this many likes. You're so famous. Oh, you got your video did this. You're so famous. Oh, girl, you got those new shoes. You're so famous. It's like a joke, and she turned it into something else. It's like
Right.
her video was purposely vindictive. It was purposely vindictive. She was upset because James Charles had been promoting Halo Beauty, but the one time he promoted Sugar Bear, she got upset and was like, "How dare you promote somebody else other than
so
me?"
how was he promoting Halo Beauty?
If you watched the video, did you watch the video?
I didn't.
You should watch the videos.
Watch it. But it's in several videos of how he'll put it in a little bit like, oh, get Halo Beauty because this is one of my favorite products, and like, yeah, get Halo Beauty is one of my favorite products. He does that in his YouTube. He'll do it on Instagram. He'll even do it on Snapchat. He's done it several times over
On
the last
Twitter.
few years, and on Twitter. But the one time he promotes, which that was a very good point. The one time he promotes Sugar Bear, which I get is her rival. You should be promoting your a rival, but then again, you shouldn't get, oh, I'm gonna go and ruin your whole career just because you promoted this one my rival one time. Like, oh, I mean, it's not that serious. I mean, I get you're upset, but you don't have to go in the world spilling everybody else's tea.
And then messing it up too.
Yeah, and then you're gonna make a video like, oh, don't give him hate.
I mean, I don't really think that was her goal to begin with. It's just sort of like whenever you get upset about that something's happened to you, someone's did something, someone's wronged you in some way, the first thing you do is lash out. And that's the reason why it's biblical. You don't, you listen, don't speak. And whenever you speak quickly, when you're quick to speak and not slow to listen, you start saying stuff out the side of your head. And you start saying things that you probably wouldn't ordinarily say if you were able to filter through it. So that's a lot of times whenever you're angry and upset, it's just like, I mean, the golden rule is if you're going to say something, type it up in an email, type it up in a text, don't send it, wait till the next day.
It's interesting
And
that
then read over it and you're like,
I'm gonna say it's interesting as you say that, because it's a 45-minute video, which means she sat in front of that camera for hours making content. Then she edited for hours with that same content, watched the video again, and then still posted it.
She was still in a moment of anger.
Well, regardless, Mama, she's a grown woman.
She is.
And you always raised me. You always raised me to believe.
Grown people can make what am I trying to say?
Mistakes?
Mistakes too. They get angry as well as young people. Sometimes you're able to filter through it, but I know a lot of grown people that's in their 60s and 70s that don't filter through stuff
That
like
don't
that.
make it okay. That does not make it okay.
It don't make it okay, but it makes it human. That's the thing. You can't take the humanistic quality out of this completely.
I'm not taking humanistic quality. I was gonna get the word humanistic quality out of it. But one thing you've always taught me is that when things are emotional and when I'm going through things, don't make it public. Because not everybody's business.
But not
so why is it
parents
something?
has taught them that, Shalisha.
But
Look
life
at
should
social
teach you
media.
that.
Yeah, no, look at social media now.
That's not okay
You
either.
have
I'm so
80-year-old
sorry.
people posting foolishness on social media.
Again, that doesn't make
it doesn't
okay.
make it right, but some people feel like that's their outlet. That's the way to get people in. Some people need that type of attention so much that even if it's good or bad, they don't care. They're gonna put it out there. I teach you and all my children, whenever you're going through something, social media is not the place to be.
Oh yeah, I know. That's what I just said.
All right, so we're gonna change gears.
Hold on.
Okay, wait a minute. Go ahead.
What was wrong with him saying that he was famous? I just looked at his Instagram. He is famous. He got
Oh, yeah.
pictures with Kim Kardashian. Who
Kylie
else?
Jenner.
Kylie. All of them. So
Oh, he is.
what was
famous.
wrong with him saying
I think
he was famous?
it's I think it's humility. You
yeah,
know,
I think
it's just
I'm
like
famous, don't you?
yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm famous, don't you?
You can't make this stuff up.
But
We're gonna change gears.
I'll say this last thing about that.
No.
The thing about
Go ahead.
the thing about the famous thing was, I don't say it's humility, but according to James, it was just a joke. It was like, oh, we joke like that all the time, and it seems more she was just upset. So I guess the way I can connect it is, oh, you can promote everybody, even my rivals, so you're so famous because you have that platform. She just seemed very, very bitter. So she's making connections in places that don't exactly. Can you stop? I can hear it. So she's making connections in places that connections aren't really there because she's upset. Therefore, she's venting. So I guess I can understand. Like, part of me can understand like you're venting, but I wouldn't post something like that if I was venting and upset, because I do get upset about a lot of things. I'm a very emotional individual,
Because once it was out, then she had so many people that was jumping on her side. She was vindicated. She's like, oh, well, maybe I didn't go too far because everybody understands. Because that video went viral. She had like, what, 44 million?
It's a 45-minute video, and I just watched
And
the whole
there's
thing.
like 44 million people that had watched it within the first, 36 hours, something like that. So whenever you're that upset and you start, blowing out stuff and people are vindicating you, telling you, yeah, I get it, da da da, then you start rationalize through it that it's not a big deal.
She twisted the story to make him look bad. Her story was twisted specifically to make him look bad. Like, if it was truthful, I'd understand. Like, oh, I just told the truth. Like, no, she omitted information. She changed the story. Therefore, it made him look worse. And he lost. He's like, she could have ruined his career because she was upset.
I don't think she even thought that could ever happen because he was so much bigger than she was. He had so much more following. I think she was just venting. And then whenever all this stuff transpired and she realized people are hating on him, he's losing followers, this is not what I meant.
You got to be careful what you say and what you put out there.
100% I agree with you. But that doesn't take aside that I do feel like she was venting. Do I think she was right? No, I think she was wrong because I think she's too old for that foolishness, that she should have known better. And he should have known better. Somebody should talk. Even if it is, you know what? I don't appreciate what you did. I'm just going to end our relationship right here because I'm not sure that you are aware of, the consequences to your actions.
Well, all of this started because he wouldn't promote
Right.
makeup line.
He promoted her. He just also promoted Sugar Bear.
So, but he still promoted.
Mostly her.
So what's the problem?
I don't know, but okay, say it was you and your makeup line's out, right? You have a makeup line. You have a rival. Say Kai's your rival.
I hate you.
And you and Shy have been friends for a long time, and Shy's got this huge following, and you're like, Shy, I want you to help me. I'm coming out with this new line. I want you to help me promote it. And that Kai's line is a rival of yours. Mm-hmm. So it's like you cool. You don't even know said people over here, but they my rival. So, I need you to promote me. But he's like, no, I can't do it like this. But, I get you any way I can. But then he goes behind your back and goes to your rival and promotes them. You wouldn't be upset?
No, what I would do is I would go get somebody who I know you really don't like, who's your rival, and I have them promote my line.
That's petty.
Everybody wins.
This is different pay though. Because you don't ruin my career for it.
Yeah, you're not ruining her career. You just.
Yeah.
And then again, I keep saying,
We
he's
win.
like, he didn't promote her. He didn't do a full video promoting Tati. That doesn't mean he didn't constantly promote Tati. She was mad because he one time promoted Sugar Bear to get better Coachella tickets. I can't be mad at him for that.
Okay, we can talk about this all day long, but guess what?
For better tickets.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he did it for artist ticket. Artists, that's you
Which
can't-
is security.
Yeah, you
Right.
can
Is
get
he
a
black?
No, it's white.
Oh.
Yeah, an artist ticket. You have to know somebody to get that. They get that from companies, and then a VIP ticket is open to the public.
I would have did it too. Just send you a text message.
But hey,
I'm
Simone,
gonna
look,
be
sis,
mad.
look, I just want to let you know, I promoted,
That really does show the youth in y'all, how young y'all are.
I know you're gonna be a fake girl, but
We all know Tati.
It's hot out
she
here.
got,
I
like,
need
a
the
little
air
60-year-old
conditioning. They
with
had
her
water.
body.
But
I mean,
that's the
my purse
thing.
was slipping.
Right, girl, it was
That's
slick.
the thing. It shows how young y'all are because y'all think in that capacity.
Just to promote you, I got you. Don't worry about
But
it.
we're gonna change gears
That's case.
and we're gonna move on to the next subject. It's a pretty big subject. I think that is something that women everywhere are going to be affected by, and it's the new legislature that is indicating that abortion is
Illegal.
illegal in certain states. So like I think even in Alabama, once there is a heartbeat, that it's a crime to have an abortion. Same thing in Georgia, it's a crime to have an abortion. So we're going to go around the room and get everybody's response to it.
You go first.
No, you just sitting there.
You're not even a woman. Sit down.
Yeah, sit back.
You don't get it to say right now.
Okay, so let's say you was out there, you had a one night stand, right? You end up getting pregnant,
I wouldn't.
but you don't. I wasn't saying you, Sha. I know
You
you,
said
ain't
you.
gonna do nothing like that. But I was. See, you made me forget.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, so what?
You meant you can't get a man.
I
Kyle's mad he can't get a man.
Oh, you on my team. So, all right, well, that was good. So, yeah, let's say you had a one night stand with.
Let's say you had a one night stand.
When you got pregnant.
Right, and you didn't want the. Y'all really acting up tonight.
I'm
And so
sorry.
it's still daytime.
Sorry, Papa.
And
You go out, you have a one night stand, you get pregnant, you don't want the baby.
I know what I'm saying.
I'm trying to help you.
I don't need your
I
help.
got your back. Don't worry about
I'm
it.
trying to sharp up
You down.
education. We know. So, and then let's say so you get pregnant. You don't want the baby because you don't even know this person. But now they're telling you that you have to keep the baby and you got to go through all that. So now when you have the baby, you're going to end up resenting the baby. That you're going to mistreat him because you don't want him. So you ain't going to give him the fair love and attention and stuff that he needs because you didn't want it from the jump.
I just want to say.
There's options to that right there as well. You don't have to kill the baby. You don't have to keep the baby.
Who's going to, first of all,
Once
who's
the
taking
ba-
care of this abortion? Like, who's taking care of the adoption? I want to know who's going to take, I can't because I don't like that way of thinking.
That's the way
You
I'm
could give it
fine.
up for adoption. That's why all of Alabama it made this legislation while this confounded law was made that you can't get an abortion.
Oh my gosh, you're ready to fight.
I am upset.
I mean,
Okay.
if you don't understand abortion, you shouldn't have went out in the first place, and you should, because you're not supposed to. Okay, in the Bible,
Safe sex.
you're not supposed to have sex till you get married.
What if you get raped?
Then,
Where's that safe sex then?
Then they'll do it if it's rape or
No, they
incest.
won't.
Okay, we shouldn't have.
It's illegal.
Oh, I thought
It's illegal.
In Georgia, they said if you get
In Georgia,
raped,
you can, but in Alabama, it's not.
so they still making you have
Yeah.
a baby.
Yeah, and
Oh,
I
I
help you
didn't
take
know.
care of it either. I'm sorry,
I
I'm
didn't know
upset.
that part.
I'm
Okay,
mad.
About
so-
Georgia.
Let's just go off based on Simone's scenario. And I will say, based on her scenario, I feel like that women should be responsible. I am pro-life for myself. I am pro-choice for every other woman. Because I feel like God gives us a choice, and everybody a choice. Whether they want to live right, they want to live wrong, whatever. God gives you that ultimate choice. But I think women should be responsible too. I don't think abortion should be birth control. Period.
Okay, I also don't think abortion should be birth control. I agree with you. I am pro it's not my body, so it's not my choice for everybody else. So, I don't like the whole mentality like, oh, I had sex unprotected and I got pregnant. I just don't want the baby. I'm going to abort it. Not that you can't take care of it. Not for any other reason. That feels weird to me.
That feels
I
weird to
wouldn't
me
do
too.
it.
Exactly. I wouldn't do it. That's
It's not
but
my-
it's not my
It's
body.
not my
And
choice.
I'm pro-choice. If that is your body and that is what you want to do, then ultimately that's your choice.
But, I don't
But for
like
me and my body, I'm pro-life. So I feel like that's something that I would not do. But I'm not passing judgment on any other woman that makes that decision.
Exactly. It frustrates me that somebody can even come out their mouth and say, "Oh, you should just use protection," because of course you can use protection, but things happen sometimes, and you get in situations you don't mean to get into. And if you really have no means to take care of that child, it's easy to say, "Oh, put it up for adoption." But how do you know who's gonna take care of that child before they get adopted? How do you know if somebody's gonna even adopt that child? They're different. Who's paying for the child care?
I mean, I
Okay,
think
hold
we're
on.
getting into the nitty gritty of the details. I
It's
really
not
don't want to. I
arguing
really
these
don't
details.
care what the details are. To be honest with you, I don't. I really could care less. What I care about is the woman having a choice to do whatever it is that she wants to do. I do have my opinions that I do not believe abortion should be birth control. One, if something happens and you get pregnant, so forth and so on. Personally, I believe that's your responsibility. You take care of it. I mean, except it be raped or incest. Those are the two things that I would be like, even with, those are situations in which that would be extremely hard for you to try and make someone feel bad about. Not that I would make someone feel bad about any of the above situations, but those are the two very, very, very sensitive situations in which women had no choice in the measure. It's not like they made a conscious decision to lay down with this other individual. They were made to. So whenever you make a conscious choice to lay down with someone, then you should make a conscious choice to protect yourself. And yes, things do happen. Birth control is not 100%, but whenever you lay down, like my mom and dad used to tell me, make sure that every time you lay down with a man, that you are ready to take care of a baby, because birth control is not 100%.
Well, I say this. I do know it's gonna be a lot of botched abortions because people gonna start back doing like how they used to do back in the day. They're gonna start going to people's houses and letting them do it, and they're gonna try to do it themselves.
Back
And when
down
I
the
say
abortions?
right, and when I say do it themselves, I mean it's different ways. You don't necessarily have to get the surgery and stuff done. I mean, it's different ways you can get rid of your own baby. You never know. They'll try to do something else, and abortions don't work no way. Cause my aunt, she tried it. She said the person ain't tell you she tried to go back and get some more money from baby daddy. All right, now pass that on.
You got stories that I feel like I need to hear, so we gonna come back to you.
So, I mean, the two males in the building. James, what's your take on it?
Me personally, I don't feel like a man has the right to say anything in this legislature. My thing is, it's a woman's body, and I mean, we can't tell because we don't have to suffer through this stuff, so we don't have. I really just don't feel like a man has the right to say anything. I mean, it should have been done with a panel of women. I don't feel like a man should have been allowed to even vote in there because he's not going to give a fair vote. There's no way possible because we don't understand the significance of what a woman has to go through with this child. We think we do, but there's a lot of things that we don't understand.
I agree, 100%. A man should nowhere in the scenario should a man be, because once he drops the seed, it is all up to the woman to bring that baby to this world. So that, I mean, it is what it is. There's just nothing that you can say or do to me to convince me that it's okay for men to make that type of decision for women. What's your take on it, Matthias?
I mean, yeah, I do agree with the a man not having a choice to whether a woman should or should not keep a baby. I mean, we don't know what how she is financially. You know, we don't know what complications she's going through in life that that has to involve her having a baby, and ultimately, I mean, it's up to the female to choose whether she wants to have this baby or not. Of course, certain things may have led up, like, you know, unprotected sex. You know, she could have gotten raped or anything. I mean, and then I don't think the law should keep them from choosing whether they want to do with their child. It's not like anybody came into you. Like it's not like you went to they went to your mom before you were born. Like, oh, you can't have this baby. You have to get an abortion, or they didn't judge whether you get to come into the world or not. And I don't think we should judge whether another woman should bring a child into this world or not, because ultimately it's her decision, not ours.
So, so no on the. So we vote no for the abortion.
Yeah, no.
And by the way, ladies, that was some Kai's. He just turned 18 and he graduated.
Okay. I do want to ask this question because I know where I stand on it. I know how I feel about it. However, what if the person's with another man, like the woman's with a man. She wants to get an abortion, but he wants to keep the baby himself. Like, if she has a baby, he'll keep it. What are your thoughts on that? Like, is it still like, oh, she's just gonna get an abortion regardless?
Well, it's still up to her whether she wants to keep the baby. Like that's me. If I was gonna go pregnant, yes, I would want to keep the baby because that's my own. That's half of me. That's my half of my blood. Like, I would want to keep the baby because I wouldn't want anything to happen to my child. But then again, it's up to the female to decide. If she doesn't want the baby, I guess there's nothing much I can do about it. So she gets to have the decision whether she wants to have the baby or not. I mean, I can fight all day and night like, yeah, I really want to keep this baby, but at the end of the day, I can't force her not to have an abortion.
I'm so
Very
proud
well
of you.
said.
You are so smart. Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that high school diploma coming out of you. I see you. But
if he really wanted to like push the issue, I think he could take it to the Supreme Court.
the Supreme Court,
If he really wanted to fight it.
but the way it stands right now, obviously, the Supreme Court or the judicial system isn't really working for us. Like, the laws aren't really working for us. They don't care about us. So if the man's like, I want to keep the baby, they're like, oh, well, you have to have the baby because he wants to keep it, which is very, very frustrating because we're going backwards.
Well, then
I
she
mean-
RN, so she can get the job. Nan, tell him what you used to do, baby.
Did you used to be a part of that? Like, you just have to do that? I'm
I don't
confused.
She's
know.
a registered nurse. I'm pretty sure she know how to do it.
I don't know. I mean, I
I'm trying
did
to
labor.
get somewhere.
So stupid.
So,
No, I
that's
did labor and
illegal.
delivery. The reason why I became a registered nurse is because I love babies and I loved just working in labor and delivery. And I did that for a matter of about 10 years. No, I don't. I mean, I know how they do abortions. That's something that I would never be a part of because that's something that I just don't believe in. And I've seen families that have miscarried at the stages where they have abortions and the baby is fully formed. I mean, we had one that came in that had a miscarriage at 19 weeks and the baby was fully formed and it was in the palm of their hands. And it's a sad occasion, especially when a couple really, really wants to have a baby, and that's a life. And everyone says, oh, it's just, all it is cells, but I don't know what you think your body is right now. We're just a pack of cells that keep dividing on a daily basis, on a hourly basis, on a second basis. We're just cells. So to say that the fetus or the embryo or the zygote is only cells, well, that's all you are too. So I don't agree with the fact that they feel like a baby's not a baby until you see a heartbeat or until it's able to live outside the body. There have been studies that's done where they've done abortions and they've done ultrasound guided abortions where the babies were about 12 to 13 weeks, and whenever the doctor goes in with the tool to yank the baby out, the baby is startled and scared, and you can see that on the ultrasound. So for you to say the baby won't feel it is just untrue, and I think a lot of women are misguided in them saying that the baby will never know, that the baby will never feel it. No, they are human, and they do feel things. And just like you're nothing but cells, they're nothing but cells. So.
Wow. I think I had something more to say than wow, but that does give a whole different perspective. Because again, I still say, as we all keep saying, it's up to the woman. It's her choice. But it's interesting when you start to see different perspectives of everything. You can see both sides of the argument, but you really can't see both sides of the argument. Because at the end of the day, it should never be a man's choice to what a woman does with her body. It should never be a man's choice about how she goes about taking care of anything. So I feel like this I feel like this legislation shouldn't happen. I feel like this law, this whatever it is, this thing should not have occurred. I feel like when we're in a situation where one gender outweighs the other gender in numbers in voting, it should never be like that. Especially with matters that are deciding for one gender or another gender. Like, with insurance like birth control and stuff like that, I don't think, birth control's not on insurance, is it? You can't get birth control, it is? Okay, because at some
You can
point...
get birth control for free. If you go to the health department, they'll give it to you for free.
Really?
Yeah. So there really is no reason why someone should be pregnant, even if you have
have sex.
unprotected sex and you don't know if you're going to get pregnant. They have the morning after pill, which prevents the pregnancy.
Yeah, because it takes 3 days, doesn't it?
Yeah, within 24 to 48 hours after you had unprotected sex, you can do the morning after pill, which prevents pregnancy. So there's really no excuse for women to have this situation in which that they're not, unless you're raped or, incest, and then you have no clue, and then you have these little girls that are taken advantage of that should never be touched, and the person that's touching them should be
In jail.
yeah. I mean, well, I'm okay. I'll go with that. Yes, castration. I'm very 100% all for that. But I think that it's a sickness in all states and forms. Period. Especially whenever you have women that are using abortion as birth control, and who has that much money every time? It's like, if you're gonna spend $200 to $300 to have an abortion, go spend $50 for the morning after pill, and you won't have to have an abortion. Or just go to the health department and get the pill pack. I am definitely pro-choice for other women, because I feel like, right or wrong, and I do feel like abortion's wrong, but right or wrong, it's the choice of the females. That's her body. She should be given that choice. That should never be taken away from her. A man should never be able to dictate what a woman can do with her body, period. We don't dictate what men can do with their body. A man should never be able to dictate what a woman can do with her body, period.
Amen.
Oh, so that's what the problem is. It's not so much as they done passed the law for an abortion, it's because that a man passed that law to say that we have to do it. I kept on trying to do it. I didn't know that a man made that law. I just thought that I just thought that some women would have, because I have been seeing women protesting the abortion and stuff.
Yeah, women protest abortion.
I mean, I thought that like some real, higher up women came through and passed the law. But I didn't know that a man had that.
Yeah, it was a bunch of Republican white men that did it. I know the race doesn't matter. I just like to point out that they were both
But
Republican
ain't a
and
black
white.
man gonna do that. I used to.
Stop it.
So
But,
you say this what you wanna do, we gonna do it, okay?
Stop.
'Cause I don't wanna put you through nothing.
Some more. But
You got to take care of it. What?
oh my God.
He done won the lottery. They
So-
been praying for that. God, please let put it on the heart of mine. You know how to go. Oh. Go ahead.
Okay. You are a fool. I'm gonna pray for you. But I forgot what I was gonna say. She messed me all up. End of the day, it's not a man's choice. He'll never have to deal with it. He'll never know the struggles. You say, "Oh, but I wanted the baby." I'm like, "Well, congratulations. You didn't have to carry it for 9 months. You decide you don't want the baby. You can leave. I'm stuck with it." Okay, I don't want to say stuck with it like that, but you know what I mean. Like, that baby's mine.
Well, no, I disagree with that right there.
Sure you do.
Even, if you get pregnant and you're not raped or anything, I feel like, yeah, you should have to carry that child. Even if you don't keep it, if you don't raise it, there's people out here every day who are trying to get children. They can't have them. They would love to have that child. I mean, I'm not saying just have them and put them straight out there into the system. No. I mean, as I said, there's people out here every day just looking to adopt.
I feel that, I'm just going to be honest with you. I get what you're saying, but I still don't think the choice should be taken away from the woman, whether
I
or
don't
not she
either.
wants to keep it. But I do agree. I think that unless it's incest or rape,
Right.
that, it should be something that is
Or
encouraged.
something that's life-threatening toward the parent. The mother
Right,
and
or
the
there's,
baby.
exactly,
Yeah.
because there are situations where
Health issues
there
or
are health issues where the baby might have to be aborted. But I feel like I mean, I'm the same way that you are. It's like if it's something that you went out here and consciously done, and it happened, you know, things happen. Unfortunately, I always say there's no mistakes when it comes to children or babies because everything happens for a reason. But I feel like there should be a sense of encouragement because whenever you go to the abortion clinics, they don't encourage women to keep the baby. They encourage women to abort the baby. So they even take them to the counseling, and the way that they're counseled in the form in which that the baby is not human, the baby will not feel anything. They are told these things to make them feel better about aborting the baby. So, and I think that they should be counseled differently, and I think it should be mandatory that whenever you are going to have an abortion, that the counseling be regulated by someone that is going to give them the proper information versus saying a woman can't have an abortion. Regulate the abortion clinics as to what it is that they can say and not say. So we're going to switch gears on that. And you got something else you want to add to it? Okay. Well, we're going to switch gears, and the only other thing that we're going to talk about today is very quickly, we're just going to touch bases on the Beyonce, Dionne Warwick drama that's going on. So Dionne Warwick is saying that Beyonce is not an icon. So just briefly, this is the last subject. We're going to all go around, let everybody give their opinion, and then we're going to wrap this up today. But how do you feel about that?
I think it goes with what you define as an icon. Beyonce has been. I'm not a diehard Beyonce fan. I'm not part of Beehive. I like her music. I grew up with her music, so I can appreciate everything that she's worked for. To say she's not an icon, I feel like is unfair because Beyonce has put in work for a very long time. You see videos of her as a young child practicing and singing and dancing all the way up until now. She's in her 30s, 3 kids, in a marriage, still doing this very same thing. So I'm trying to figure out what about her makes her not an icon. Because she's put in work. She's made lots and lots of music. And her music has impacted people in different ways. And she uses her platform to represent us as black people, as black women. So I don't understand how she's not an icon. I don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me. Like, is it just, people feel like she's overhyped or what it is? But I will say Beyonce's put in a lot of work. She's worked very, very hard to get where she is.
I'm sorry, I don't even care.
You talk about Beyonce, and I mean, I know Beyonce. I don't really know the other chick.
Oh, now you gonna put some respect on her name because Dionne Warwick been in the game for a minute.
Well, yeah. Well, I haven't heard any of her music. The only person I've really heard was Beyonce, and so it's not fair for me to jump into this without prior knowledge of Dionne Warwick.
That's why I ain't saying nothing. I was just,
James, your take?
I kind of grew up in both of the eras. I grew up during Dionne. Things were a little different. I mean, as Shai says, I mean, pretty much define an icon. Everyone looks at icon as with a different meaning. To me, I mean, she, as Shai said, she has put in her work. She deserves to wear that honor.
Okay, I guess I'll be the last one unless someone else got something else to add to it. In terms of, I'm not a person that can judge what an icon is and what an icon is not. I mean, I do have my opinion on the situation. I don't think that Dionne was indicating that she would never reach that status, but I do think that we stand on the shoulder of giants, and I think that a lot of times we take for granted what it is that someone else has done for us to be able to get to the places that we are today. As I've said before, we have so many different avenues now in which that we can promote our work, and we don't have to work as hard. And I think back in Dionne's day where they had to stand outside, different bars to get in to sing, and then they had a certain bathroom that they could go to, and the certain things that they could and could not do just by the basis of their color, and the things that she did in her era and the people that were in her era to open up doors and smash them down, so that now the artists that come up today don't have to do that, and it's so much easier for them to make it. And it's sort of like even now, Beyonce has worked extremely hard from the time that she was a child all the way up until now, and she's opened up so many doors. It's sort of like saying Ella May is the next person that's coming up on the scene, and she got discovered on Instagram. Beyonce worked since she was a little girl, trying to go in this show and that show and doing this, that, and the other. And how is this girl that get discovered on Instagram that's becoming this big figure in the music industry be able to smash some records as she's coming up? And it's just like her in about 5 years may have reached. I mean, I'm not saying where she's going, but she may have reached other statuses, and people be like, "Oh, Ella May's this, Ella May's that, da da da." And you can look at that and look at Beyonce and be like, Beyonce did so much more than what she had to do. It's just like, give her a little bit more time. She's going to get there. No one's saying that she's not going to get there. It's just like you're standing on the shoulder of giants. And when you're standing on the shoulder of giants, you should never look down and say, no, I'm, this way or that way. It's just like you opened up so, and I don't think Beyonce's doing that. It's like, but you opened up so many doors for me that I didn't have to face or do a fourth of what you have to face and do to get to where you're at right now.
Did she call herself? Did she call herself an icon, or someone else called her an icon?
So everybody, people
So
call
the
it.
question was asking her, did she think Beyonce was an icon?
Oh, and she said no.
She didn't say no. She says that she thought that Beyonce was a great artist, and her artistry was like amazing. But in essence, what she said, that she felt like that she had some more time to go.
I mean,
Right,
I
but
can
this,
agree with that.
this generation, the time we live in now, everybody who come out think they're an icon.
Right.
They put that up under everybody's name. If you look at the award shows, they'll put icon, da 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 da, whoever the artist is. They always put that up under their name. So everyone who comes out, they think that they're an icon. I guess they don't really know the meaning behind the
it.
word.
It's like, because the definition of icon is a person or thing regarded as representative symbol, representative symbol, or worthy of veneration. So I guess by the definition, Beyonce kind of is an icon. But what Mom said about the Ella May, like Ella May got discovered on Instagram. I had a point. Give me a second. Okay. Ella May got discovered on Instagram, yes. It's like, it goes with the times, though. Like you said, we stand on shoulders of giants. So things that people had to do up until now, it's just different.
Era.
It's a different era. Like, we have different things in place. It doesn't make somebody else's work less valid. It doesn't make somebody less important or lesser of any way just because we have different tools that we can use in order to get ourselves different places. I feel like I can understand Beyonce, her saying that Beyonce needs a little more time. You know what I mean? But Beyonce has been doing this for like a long time. She's been doing this for a very, very long time. For most of her life, it seems like Beyonce has been working and doing all of this. I can see maybe when she's in her 40s or 50s being regarded as an icon because she's done her time. Maybe if she retires from music and everything, it's like, oh, she retires as an icon. So I guess that makes sense. You're distracted.
Well, I mean, I think too, and I'm just reading a little bit more about her comment. One of her comments were indicating that, like, in 10 years, some of the songs that, like, if you look at people that are icons, that you can still sing their songs today, like way back in the days where you have your Sammy Davis Jr. Songs, and you can come and you can sing those songs today because those songs are not full of sexual innuendos. They're iconic songs that transcend generations, that goes from generation to generation to generation. And in 10 years, are you going to be able to sing Bow Down Bees?
Okay, Beyonce has other songs like Halo. Halo's a very pretty song.
She
You can sing Halo for next generations. I Was Here. You can sing I Was Here. I Still Care. You can sing
But
that.
those are not songs that were songs she were right. I was going to say those are not songs that she was famous for. That are the songs that she is famous for are songs that are, I would say, diva-ish type songs. You know, it's like Bow Down Bees. I Woke Up Like This.
I think those are very recent songs, and they seem because they were like shock factors. Like, oh,
but
that's why
those are like the ones that hit and pop. Those are not songs that transcend generations. That's just for this generation. And in about 20 years, is that song going to be relevant?
What about Best Thing I Never Had? That was very big for Beyonce.
The Best Thing I Never Had?
Yeah.
like
But
telling a
then-
guy that she was the best thing she never had? It may.
No, they were together. He showed his butt. If she left, she found something better. There's a lot of songs like that transcend through generations, and I feel like that's a song that could possibly do that.
Right, but if you're going through a heartbreak, what Beyonce song you gonna play that you actually want to hear? Nobody want to hear that. You go through a heartbreak. I want to hear some
You must not know that.
You must not know how.
well, whatever. But I shouldn't have said it. 'Cause,
You should,
know,
it's
the
okay.
beat timeline, you know how they go.
You gonna
And
die.
put a hit out on me.
Yeah, so you can get a box.
Charlize
with-
Paul said it.
Who's that?
Dang.
The girl who's still here.
She said, this is her quote. This is Dion's quote. She said, I don't, listen guys. She said, I don't know if in 10 years from now, if anyone can sing the songs of our babies artists today, and that's not, as you guys say, throwing shade, that's looking at reality. And that's the truth.
It's like you have to go through Beyonce's discography, through her songs over the past like several years to really be able to say that. Because if you're thinking off the top of your head, you're like, oh, there's not many songs that will be able to go. Like, you're just thinking of recent songs. Like you can only name songs in the past like when was I in high school? 5 years. Because that's like Bow Down Bees, and I was like 10th grade
I
ish.
don't even remember that song.
Oh, that's the song that turned me.
What was it?
I know when you were little girls, you dreamt of being in my world. Don't forget.
Pretty much she was saying, I know you want to be
Respect
like me.
that.
Bow down.
I took
Because
some time to.
Because I'm not a big Beyonce fan. I don't really listen to her like that.
But I mean, I think that's just what she was saying. It's like if you look at the artists that come out today and the music in which they bring out, it's not something that you can see in about 10 or 15 years. People that are going to be like, oh yeah, that was the song, that was this, that, and the other. It's not something that's going to transcend through generations like some of the other songs or some of the other artists that are considered icons.
But I can also say that I feel like every generation is gonna say that about something or someone. Like there's probably Mama who Michael Jackson, all that. Mama probably didn't agree with that. Mama and Papa probably like Michael Jackson's music's not gonna be this and that and that. And that.
Michael, no. My parents really were 100% how talented he was. He was one of the most.
She didn't say
talented.
Beyonce wasn't talented.
No, she said Beyonce was very talented, and she is, and
She
she's
is.
extremely talented. And don't get it twisted, she's a great performer. But I think that sometimes the music in which someone makes is just something that doesn't, transcend.
I mean, also I'm gonna say that sex sells. It through
Yeah, it
decades.
does. It
Back
has.
then it did.
It has, but if you look, you like Marvin Gaye. It's not considered an icon.
What?
No, I'm sure it wasn't.
Who says that?
A lot of people.
Portia.
Said what?
He's a legend, but he's not an icon.
He's a legend, but he's not an icon. Sexual healing,
He was whooping on his daddy. That's why they said that.
No, they said that because he got up on stage and stripped naked. He got arrested for that.
When?
when in his concert.
I ain't never seen that one.
You did, and I think you weren't born yet.
No, somebody got it on black and white right now. They watching it while we talking about it on black and white.
Yeah, he got arrested for that.
Anyway.
Marvin Gaye stripped naked. Was he high?
Yes, stay high. 90% of artists back then were high.
Okay, well
That's how
that's
Rick
just,
James.
That's
Look.
how we had to get through it.
Look
Giving
at
all this
look at
stuff.
Ray Charles.
What?
He's a
I
blind
feel like we're getting back to
heroin
that.
addict.
You know what? It never ceased to amaze me because he was blind, but he still was able to shoot up.
Oh, he knew what was it.
You can feel.
He-
Trust me, being a nurse,
He lighted.
Hey.
it's better to be able to feel the vein instead of be able to see it. So anyway, we're going to wrap it up, guys. I hope you got something out of this. Like, subscribe, give us a comment. Let us know what you want us to talk about. And we will see y'all all next time. Bye.